Welcome to Digital Asset News to get top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down to bite-sized pieces. So today, there's really only two stories. The first up, what is the future of the Cardano blockchain after the merry hard fork? And if you haven't heard, there is going to be a hard fork coming at the end of February, 1st of March, which is going to massively upgrade Cardano and what it can do. And it's the big reason why I stopped dollar cost averaging Ethereum, and I'm only going heavy into Cardano. So we'll take a look at that, and there's a lot of layers of the onions to peel back. Now, on top of that, there's a little article talks about JP Morgan report. JP Morgan, friends of the show. Just kidding, they're not. It states it's okay to have up to 1% of a multi-asset portfolio in crypto. This is just another example of if you wait for the big people and the smart money to tell you what to do, you're usually way behind. So we'll take a look at those two pieces, but first, let's take a look at what's going on in the market. So today it is February 25th, 3:30 p.m. El Paso, Texas time. Beautiful day here, 70 degrees, can't beat it. And what do we have? Well, Bitcoin has taken a little bit of a tumble as it had before, and we still cannot breach that $50,000 barrier. Some people are talking about Bitcoin going on to 35K. Some people say it's going to go up to 62 in March. I don't know. All I can tell you is that there's one person I trust. His name is CJ over at Market Rebellion. He says if we can close out this month at 45K, then we'll hit around 60 next month. So not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner, but sounds reasonable to me. Ethereum looks like, wow, down 2%, somewhere around there, 1538 from its all-time high of 2,000. Binance coin looks like it's up a little bit. Great, Tether's Tether. Somebody cares, and that somebody is me. If you watched the show yesterday, we talked about how Tether had actually, they had settled with the New York Attorney General, and they paid somewhere in like 18.5 million, somewhere around there. And I said this is great news because now Tether can keep printing. If it's backed up to the dollar, I don't know. I guess them and the New York Attorney General had straightened that out. And some people would ask me, well, why would you pay me money if you were innocent? Because it's easier. I've been through lawsuits. I can just tell you, when you go through lawsuits, it's just easier just to go, look, just take the money and just get out of my face so I can just get some stuff done. So that's pretty much exactly what happened. Anyhow, Cardano is up 12%, not surprising after what we're going to talk about. XRP, watch out, down a little bit, but it's pretty good for, let's be honest, XRP is amazingly good for facing a SEC lawsuit. And people have told me, just watch out for the assets that just do not go away and are resilient in the tough times. Those are something to watch. Let's see what else we got. Litecoin. Litecoin's up a little bit. There has been talk about some privacy feature, Mimblewimble and things like that. I've been hearing that for a long time, so whatever. I'm not a big supporter of Litecoin. Some people love it. I just don't get into it. That's just me. And on this channel, if you're new, first of all, welcome. And if you're new, just let you know, I'm very biased to the ones that I actually invest in. I'm not going to lie to you like some other places. If I invest into it, usually I cover it. And that's pretty much how it goes. So I'm just honest. Bitcoin Cash up a little bit. Is there anything fantastic? Not really. All right. So let me go down a little bit. 5% for synthetics, great. Ooh, 10% for sushi. DeFi making a strong comeback. Sure. That's about it. Oh, 30% for Matic, which is a layer 2 solution for Ethereum. They're going to need that because those fees are outrageous. All right, let's jump into today's top story and see what the heck is going on. Okay, so this was an article, and it was a bit ago, but it's found new traction, especially because of this little tweet, which I'll get into in a little bit. But the article just talks about what's the future of Cardano blockchain after the merry hard fork. So if you don't know, they're going through a hard fork, and if you're just a little bit new to cryptocurrency, you may understand that, okay, I've heard of a hard fork. You know, the biggest one that I can always think as an example is Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash. That's a hard fork. And then people say, well, that's really not good because you can create other things. But really, a hard fork is in essence an upgrade. So that is what is happening here. It's just an upgrade, and it's a major one. So this is what is going on. So Merry, a hard fork, it's going to transition the Cardano blockchain protocol from the Shelley decentralized era closer to the Goguen smart contract. So you have to understand, Cardano's been around for quite some time, but when Shelley came along, it became truly decentralized. It opened up a lot of things, especially for people who want to do like stake pools, like myself and my team. We have our own stake pool for Cardano, and it just really opens up a lot of different options to really make things truly decentralized. Now we're going to the Goguen era, which is the smart contract era, and this is going to be big for many reasons because this hard fork was successfully deployed on February 3rd as a test net. And what does it do? It brings native assets to Cardano and allows developers the ability to create custom tokens or migrate existing projects to Cardano. So here's the thing. This is why this is so big. Because if you were not around 2017, remember that ICO craze? Well, what were ICOs always built on? It was on Ethereum. And it seemed like everything's built on Ethereum. DeFi is built on Ethereum. You have stable coins like Tether and USDC that's built on Ethereum. You have a ton of different assets that are built on Ethereum. ICOs that actually made it and ICOs that actually didn't make it, but they're still built on Ethereum. Now we have an opportunity for developers to create digital assets, cryptocurrencies, on a new platform known as Cardano. So this is going to open up just a plethora of options for a lot of different developers, companies, third parties to really get into the fray and use a platform that is really developed not to be super expensive like what is going on with Ethereum right now. And just like they talked about, Bitcoin is a first generation blockchain. Ethereum is a second generation, did a lot of great things, but Cardano really is a third generation platform, and they kind of learned from all the different mistakes that came before it to make something a little bit better, and I think it's going to be massive. Now, again, not to throw shade or to talk negatively about Ethereum. I own Ethereum. I own a lot of it. Not a lot of it. I own enough of it. But for right now, I will not be dollar cost averaging anymore into Ethereum. I'm looking to Cardano. I don't know which one's going to be great. I don't know. Here's the thing. One's going to be great and one is going to be awesome. I don't know which one it is. That's why I own both. And that's just why I hedge my bet, because I think that's the best option. So when I hear about stories like this, I'm like, this is just another bullet in the chamber for me to think to myself, I really need to really get heavy into Cardano. Again, this is not a financial advice, not a financial planner. These are just the things that I am investing into. All right. So when this hard fork occurs, this will unleash the full promise of Cardano for a wide range of services and solutions such as DeFi. That's pretty big. We've heard about that. Non-fungible tokens. We've heard about that. That seems like a pretty big deal. And stable coins. Also a huge deal, especially if you're a bank looking to get into this area. Stable coins could be enormous. And not a stable coin where you have to pay a ton of money to transfer it. Have you tried to transfer USDC off of Voyager to anybody else? It's expensive. Like if I want to transfer, I mean, anything around, and as far as a stable coin, it's pricey, especially with Tether, USDC. Actually, I don't use Tether, USDC. So really, is it that good of a service if it costs so much? And there's just tons of examples of them out there. So when I hear these things, I'm like, this is a pretty good deal. And this was a tweet from IOHK. They said, today, 2020, the next testnet will hard fork the Cardano testnet and apply the Goguen native token upgrade, aka Mary, transforming it into a multi-asset network. Next comes Mainnet, targeted for the end of February. And this is what I was talking about as far as the tweet, because that was the old one. This one was from yesterday. They said, we're on. We can today confirm that the Mary Cardano protocol update is now fully confirmed for March 1st. So this is one of the big criticisms of Cardano. That people would say, you know, that they'll have like an announcement to another announcement, and they won't get anything done. Well, here they have an announcement. They said we're going to do something, and it's actually going to be done. So again, take it with a grain of salt. But if they say it's going to be, yep, March 1st, then that sounds pretty good to me. They've been hitting their milestones so far, so I have no reason to doubt them. And then, excuse me, going back. To finish up, project tokens launched on Cardano do not need smart contracts built on top of its blockchain to be issued. This design reduces the possibility of human error. So this is a confusing topic for me because I'm not a developer. But I'll tell you who is. There's a real smart guy. And his name, not me. This guy right here, Ashoshi. He's one of the guys that I have actually in my recommended YouTube. It's in the description of every one of my videos. If you just scroll down to almost the bottom, he's one of them. And this is a fantastic video. I will link at the very end. And he talks about why that is such a big deal to not have everything kind of so much ingrained into the smart contract aspect. And he really gives it a really good view from the developer's point. So the last part here is it states ADA and tokens on Cardano will be fully exchangeable from day one, greatly simplifying DEXs and DeFi applications. So right now, if you use Uniswap or use any decentralized exchange, you know what I'm talking about. You know that those fees are crazy. What if you could go to a DEX and use the Cardano token to get any kind of other token that you could want that would be on the Cardano network, and you could just swap them out and it'd be super cheap? Wouldn't that be great? Sounds pretty good. On top of the fact that I know some people say, well, everything's built in Ethereum, so how's that going to work? Well, the video we did about a month ago, they are rolling out an ERC20 converter. So what that means is that if you have some type of token that's created on the Ethereum network, you can just put it into the ERC20 converter and spit it all out, and into the Cardano network it goes. So this will be a pretty big deal, especially for large companies that are building or working in conjunction with Ethereum. Maybe they're like, you know what, I don't know what's going on with this Ethereum 2.0. He says it's gonna be 6 months, maybe a year. That's a long time. Maybe we'll just go some other place that's might be a little bit faster, might be a little bit better, it might be a little bit cheaper. So we're gonna go this route, and then once you guys figure it out, then we'll talk. These are one of those things that I think about as far as like business owners and whatnot. So what does this mean? Right now, the DeFi and dApp ecosystems are being held back by high transaction fees. We just talked about that. Cardano was designed to be of low cost, and this will not change. Great. Very hard fork in the Gorgon's era upcoming full deployment will bring more third-party developers through Cardano, helping to increase its overall network effects. And this is one of those other criticisms that people would always ask me, like, well, who's building on Cardano? What are they really doing? Well, they really couldn't do much because now they needed this hard fork. Now that they have it, we'll see exactly what happens. Will developers come over and start to use Cardano more so than Ethereum? Debatable. I have no idea. But from what I was listening to Hashoshi, who told me, he says, look, it's really easy with this, with Haskell language. It's simple to do things. He's like, I can do it. He's a developer, so sure. And then they also have a lot of very easy other parts to do for non-technical people like myself. So again, we'll see what happens in the future. But if it's that easy, and all these things are making it really easier for where people want to go, it just makes sense. So it really all comes down to this. Where do you go for the things that you want to do? Do you like to make things tough on yourself and to make it a little more expensive? Or would you just like to go someplace where it's like, oh, well, I need a dentist. There's a dentist 20 miles away and they're expensive, or there's one right on the street and they're half the price. Why don't you just do that? I mean, just seems like that's how it is. I know it's a very oversimplified example, but these are the kind of things that I think about. And then lastly, finally, ADA will be fully tradable with native tokens from the start. In Cardano, transactions between native tokens do not generate high fees, making DeFi applications even more affordable. And this is also one of the problems with DeFi right now. So that is what is going on. And then there was one more piece I wanted to bring about, which it talks about. This is the Cardano roadmap. I will link this also in the description. And it talks about Goguen. So we're going into the smart contract era, functionality, these tokens being able to be made, non-fungible tokens, and DeFi, all this great stuff, right? There's this thing here called Marlowe. The Goguen era comes as work to make Cardano accessible to wider audiences via Marlowe. What the heck is Marlowe? Well, Marlowe looks like this. So instead of you having to write code, you can just like, okay, look, these are the things that I need to do for my company. I want to have a smart contract, right? So I'm going to take whatever this is, like we'll just do this one, right? And then I'm going to do an observation or an action or a value or something like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click it in here, a constant parameter, whatever that parameter is, right? And then if I want to do like, what would it be? Oops, we'll move this out of the way. Let's just say we want to make it simple. The amount of, then we just put the amounts, the payee, the party, wherever this one slides to, and then off you go. and then the token, whichever one you want, ADA, of course. And then you can just make this work, and then you can spit it out as actual code, and then that is your smart contract. So like for somebody like me, who is an idiot, I have no idea how to do coding, this will be great, especially for someone who knows exactly what they want. They just know how to do the actual coding. So that is what is going on with Cardano. And just to summarize real quick, I'm always looking at things as far as like, where will the next big run come from? Because in 2017, we had this huge run with Bitcoin. And then everything was, of course, built on Ethereum, like we just talked about. So to me, it was kind of like, I didn't really understand the whole process. But now that I know more about like everything with like the network effect and how there's interoperability and interconnections, and the more people that you have, the more users, Metcalfe's law, those types of things, you can just see that utility drives everything in this market. So the more utility you have and the more people that are actually building on it, the better off you will actually have as far as like a project. So when I take a look at Cardano and all the different things they're doing right now, it sounds very promising. Do I know for 100% fact that they're going to make it? I don't know. I don't know. I can only look from the eyes of a small business owner, which is what I am, just go, okay, this would make sense to me, right? If I needed some type of cryptocurrency or a smart contract or something to actually move forward as far as a business, and this one's running, it's got a lot of different options, it's got a pretty great, powerful team behind it, it's very cheap as far as the transactions, I'm probably going to go this way. And this is just how I see it. Anyhow, that's what we have for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's move on to our next piece. Actually, next piece is this. I forgot to mention this. Just so you know, you can stake Cardano if you want to. We just did a update for one of our staking videos, which talked about that for every staking pool that you stake with Cardano, just so you know, you can only, right now it's 63 million that you can stake with for one staking pool. And after that, if you do more than that, you actually lose rewards. What am I talking about? So real quick, this is a staking pool ADLT. I think that's the ADA Lite wallet. If you, let's say you have like 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever Cardano that you have, and you want to stake to that pool, and you stake to it right now, you are going to lose, because it's maxed out at 63 million, 41% rewards are going to be lost. So that's not a pool that you'd want to stake to. And also for ours right now, oops, not this one. We have actually two stake pools. One is at almost 31 million. And you see right here where it says 47% saturation. We did this video over here because we didn't want to have more people stake to this, our first stake pool, because at the end of March, the Cardano Foundation is going to reduce the maximum supply that you can stake to one staking pool operator to 32 million. So just so you know, I'll link this video at the very end. We are almost at saturation point for the new criteria. So we're going to want you to stake to our second stake pool. And that is the information that we have. So if you were looking for like, how do we compare to everybody else? How does it all work? How do I stake with, 3 different wallets? I talk about Daedalus, Yoroi, and the ADA Lite wallet. If you go to any of our videos, there is a link. Let me just open this up real quick. Yeah, there I am. There's always a link in the description of all the videos, and it looks something like this, Dan Cardano Stake Pool. Once you click on that, it'll take you to our 100% free website over here. And you don't even need to do anything for this page. And as you're scrolling through, you'll notice that this little video will pop up. This is the new video, which explains how to stake, how to do everything, and whatnot. So that is it for that piece. If you have any questions, just put it in there, and I'll answer them to my best of my abilities. All right, let's move on to our last section, which is not really a story. It's just kind of funny to me. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because JP Morgan is ridiculous. Let's just be honest. Because at first they were super, if you think about it like this, JP Morgan is kind of like every other big industry out there. At first they're like super against it. Then they're like, well, stable coins. Well, maybe this, maybe that. And then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? Now this thing comes out. Okay, well, maybe a 1% of a multi-asset portfolio. How much you want to bet that down the line, they're going to be holding a boatload of Bitcoin because they're like, we don't see any way else around it. Anyhow, this story, I'll make this very quick. It was a report published by Bloomberg on Wednesday. Joyce Chang, global head of research at JP Morgan, talked about cryptocurrencies in a note to clients. And pretty much she just said, it's okay to put like 1% of your portfolio into crypto. So first of all, I'm not going to badmouth JP Morgan because what's the point, right? I'm just going to say this, it's about time. And if all of these big institutions and these hedge funds and these different financial planners and even like endowments or retirement funds, if they would just tell all their clients like, look, yes, it's volatile. We know it's volatile, but there are some massive asymmetrical returns. You cannot get any more returns like than anywhere else. So what we're going to suggest is put between 2 and 5% of your portfolio, something very small. So if you lose it, it's not going to crush you. And that will probably offset anything else that could potentially happen as far as any other black swan events that come about. So let's just do that, Pete, and we'll put it in there. And that should be great. If every single place did that, which they should already do that, because, I mean, Bitcoin is the best performing asset in the last decade, then I think people would be doing a heck of a lot better. They do a heck of a lot better than just investing into gold, and I can tell you that. And that's coming from somebody who owns gold and silver and Bitcoin. I don't understand the point of not telling people to get into cryptocurrency if you're a financial planner and analyst. I just don't get it. Anyhow, well, that's it. So, hey, thanks for sticking with me through the whole video. Really appreciate it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing. A lot of things we talk about are very time sensitive, so that would be great. And then I'm going to link those 2 videos, one with Hashoshi, where he gives a real good breakdown of what's going on with Cardano from a developer's perspective, on top of the D-News stake pool, the updated one to tell you exactly how to stake your Cardano to make passive income between 4 to 6% APY, which is the standard average. All right, so that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.